So we're playing Fate Tectonics, and I got Andrew and Rosemary with me. They're devs and stuff.
Hi.
Hello.
Sorry, I'm like super nervous and all that stuff. I've just been super excited. I'm like, oh my god, I don't have to do anymore. Stage fright. Stage fright.
It's cool. No, sure, I got you covered. Because I am Kitty, and I played this game, and I thought it would be an awesome game to show people because it's such a cool idea. It's got like all of these different kind of elements to it that are kind of hard to describe well. I'm sure you have a much better way of describing it, so I think I'd love for you guys to actually introduce the game to us in your own words, because I will slaughter the concept a little bit. But it's really cool, so everybody listen.
All right, I guess I'll take this one. Fate Tectonics is a world-building puzzle game where you kind of build up this world out of these little square tiles. And there's this pantheon of gods that are very helpful, but also very temperamental that you need to kind of stay on top of, because if they get upset, they're a bit like angry toddlers.
Oh yeah, no, that sounds about right. Based on how I played it, because I'm like, okay, so I need to play this game and I have to appease them. Like, come on, guys, you can't deal with this on your own. I have to coddle you.
That's what you do with gods, though, sort of, and deities. You treat them like toddlers, obviously.
Hey.
Pretty much. I mean, if you read any of the like ancient Greek, ancient Roman stuff, they're all a bunch of babies.
Yeah. So we're so Fate, obviously, god and deity. So like, where are most of your inspirations from for the game? Are they like based on different myths, or are they just kind of self-made?
Rosemary did most of the character design, so I'll let her take that one.
Yeah. Well, I was basically given a list of what each fate does in the game. And I just sort of took that information and, sort of went through ancient mythology and sort of pulled inspiration from all sorts of places. And basically whatever I felt fit the type of character became the inspiration for each individual fate. So the very first fate, Penelope, is very heavily influenced by like Greek mythology, but as you go on, you'll see there's a fate that's influenced by like ancient Egyptian mythology and even like Norse mythology and things like that. So
yeah, because this fate down here, whose name I've forgotten, who likes to destroy things, he has a very like a Anubis look, but he looks like a bug.
Yeah.
I thought that was cute. So like the first one, we're going through the tutorial right now, and sorry, I'm not very talkative. I was like super like when I was playing this game, I'm like super focused. I'm like, oh yeah, I got to do that. I'm gonna put. Oh no, I can't put that there. So I don't know. It's just...
Yeah, that happens a lot of conventions too. People are playing the game and they just kind of zone out.
Right? Usually when I was playing this, I was just doing the voiceover and all that stuff. I'm like, man, I don't know. I apologize. I apologize. I'm all stage frightened now.
It's okay, you can do it.
You're a cat. It's okay.
I know, it's cool.
No, don't worry about it. There's a lot of interesting things to look at in this game, and there's like super basic questions that I'd love to ask you guys as well. That's one of the reasons I love this, is I get to not only have an excuse to play games instead of making them, but I get to kind of like poke at other devs' brains a little bit. Like, this is a pretty unusual puzzle game in the sense it's not quite a puzzle game. Because there's like, you're building societies in this as well a little bit. Like, you're trying to build these cities and there's all these different motivations happening.
I sort of felt like you're not necessarily like not even just there to appease them. You're just there to like be in the birth of and the death of this world that is created for these deities in a really weird way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's always been kind of difficult to describe the game to people. It took us a long time to come up with a pitch that made any kind of sense.
How did it originally like form in your minds? Was it one element that just kind of builded on top of itself with new elements, or did you have this kind of complete picture that you were going for right from the beginning?
Well, so this actually started off as a 1 game a month project that I was doing in my spare time, and I think maybe like the core of it was something that I came up with right away. So the like tile placing puzzle part. And all of the rest just kind of came together through playtesting at a bunch of events and seeing what people liked and what they didn't like.
Sounds very rational.
Yeah. So, did you have any influence? Like, do you have any influences from either your childhood or from recent events of games that you've based this on? Like,
Yeah,
even
so
just
the
little
main,
parts
the main
of
ones
the.
that inspired
Sorry.
the main ones that inspired me in the first place were Populous and the board game Carcassonne. Those are the
I've
two
never
big
heard
ones.
of that one.
I actually just played Carcassonne a month or so ago, and now that you mention it, I'm like, oh! Yeah, because it had like these kind of like, there's these strategies within it as a game to kind of connect different types of land tiles together to benefit yourself and to like sabotage your friends. And
I've noticed that anyone who's played Carcassonne before is immediately better at Fate Tectonics than most people who haven't.
Well, what?
Interesting.
Well, since I haven't played it, like, what? Do you have any theories or like stuff that lends to it? I don't know. Maybe even a link just to see what the game is like might help me too.
Oh, you mean the Carcassonne?
Yeah, I've never heard of it, so like I'm trying to imagine, and I'm like, well, I'm a little bit at a loss for Carcassonne.
I can grab a link and throw it in chat.
Okay.
It's tile based, and there's like different types of terrain, and it's like a competitive world domination game in a sense, but it's like in a small like city area more so than like just a small area versus a whole world.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think I kind of get it. If there it is.
I threw the link in chat.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I was like, oh wait, what's? I'm not up to my board, not on my board game, so it's like.
On your board game. Oh, I heard that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Girl, do you have a board game? Yeah. Okay, I see it. Oh god, there's 3,000
board
images.
games are a big inspiration for me in general. Me and my wife own maybe 250 games. And
Oh wow. Do you
yeah, we got this
host board
huge
game
wall
nights?
of games.
Do you host like board game nights and stuff? Do you just like have big jam sessions with friends?
We used to, but we have 2 kids now, so it's been a while since the last time that happened.
What? You don't do it with your kids?
They're not old enough yet. They're only 2.5 and 6 months.
Hey, there's no time
Oh,
like the
wow.
present.
Yeah. No, 2-year-olds are like basically natural earthquakes when you try to play a board game.
That's crazy.
Pretty much.
My understanding of it.
It's kind of funny because Fate Tectonics and our daughter are about the same age.
How has
that's
it
true.
been?
Wow.
Like, did you wait? How long has this game been released for?
Since September 9th. I mean, since we started working on it.
Yeah. Okay. I was pretty sure. I was gonna ask a question, but then I realized it'd be irrelevant if I got the times wrong. How was it working on this game with a child, like with a fairly newborn child?
2 newborns. At
Yeah,
different
yeah.
times.
Oh wait, were they like?
Um,
Oh, they're twins.
Being
Okay.
an indie dev with children is a bit of an interesting challenge. Well, no. So we have one of them is 6 months old, so he was born just after the game launch, which is about as busy as the busiest time in development, because
Yeah.
as soon as you release the game, everyone finds all the bugs you missed.
Lovely, isn't it?
Well, you know, everyone's system's
best time.
different too, so it sort of works out. You're like, oh, okay, I didn't realize that did that in this way.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird.
I know it hasn't been as bad as I would have expected. I've come up with a pretty good system where I stay at home in the morning and then I come into work in the afternoon. So I get to spend time with the kids even if I'm working way too much.
Yeah.
That's
So
good.
do you actually have a
That's
physical? Do you have a physical office outside your home then to work on this?
Yeah, so we're part of a co-working space called Bento Miso.
Oh,
It's,
fun.
a lot of indie devs are in the space. So it's just kind of like an open room with tables and chairs, and we're all sitting there working throughout the day.
Oh, that sounds really awesome. I always like those kind of collective things for people because then you have a place to bounce ideas off versus just kind of talking to yourself all day long.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
What just happened?
Oh, I
I just saw
destroyed.
everything turn orange and you died.
Yeah, apparently I was destroying the world. That was. So I know I kind of went through that really fast because I wanted to go through that and then start talking about like one of these modes. So there's 4 modes.
Yeah.
Ragnarosa et Fortuna. So like that's Ragnarosa and Fortuna. And there's a if you want, go ahead and describe all these different things, but I'll put in my couple bits. So I guess this one's the most challenging one, I would assume, where you're you're balancing out between the gods that are on there in Ragnarosa. Do I have that kind of right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have Serenity.
That was kind of the main game, that's like the way it's meant to be played.
Okay. So, I don't know. I actually didn't get around to checking it out because I ended up playing Serenity with Morgan Freeman. He looks like Morgan Freeman, guys. He's God. He's God from Bruce Almighty. I played that because it's like, play how you want, and the fates won't get angry at you after a while. I'm like, okay, I like that. I don't want them pissed at me. Travesty, customize your own rules. That sounds super elite sores that I definitely could do. I feel like there's gonna be.
You can use that to make the game easier or harder. There's options for both.
I feel like this would be a great way to just give a friend here. It's like, here, play this. I will troll you. You will never find out. And then, of course,
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, and then you have tutorial mode, which was the one we just kind of played through. Which one would you prefer I go on? Which one has probably the better view play? Probably Awakening?
Let's do the Fortuna Ragnarosa, especially if you haven't played it before. It'll be interesting to see your first time playing it.
Ooh, goody. The tale of the fate Tectonics. There are stories of a world built by the hand of a maker. Stories of land sprawling outwards, connecting and growing tile by tile. This story, however, follows you, the maker of this world. Your power is great, but you can only influence the world directly through the fates. Ethereal beings with plans of their own. Most fates favor you with tools needed to build your world. Building blocks to grow and also the means to keep everything together. Some fates merely watch and react, not always positively. Sometimes the fates cause destruction due to their temperamental nature. Destruction that has no way of being reversed, and a world is lost. But fear not, Maker. Destruction and loss are the middle of the story, not the end. Continue to build, create, and learn. There are many judgments and cataclysms I can't read that word. To come over your world to... I give up. Skip! Yeah, I hit Roblox when I speak, and it's like, no! Big words. So let's see.
You probably read more than most people do. I assume that nobody reads text ever, sadly.
Oh, that's not fair. Why would you put it there? If it's not meant to be read, why would you put it there? Huh? Right. Let's see. Start.
Everyone text.
Hey, I worked retail at one point. No one reads. Come on, guys. Nobody reads the sign that clearly states that this is 50% off, not 75% off. Come on, people. Place to be sold. Okay. Beware of doom. One thing I found when I was playing it is it's very peaceful, and I'm like, oh man, this would strangely be really cool as a mobile game. I don't.
Yeah, I'm working on the port right now.
Oh, really? Wow, that's actually really cool.
It's a slow process, but I'm working on it.
Was this made in your own engine?
Yeah.
It's built on Flash, but it's mostly our own code. We didn't really use very much of what Flash actually does.
You built this in
So
Flash?
porting it is probably a pretty big endeavor.
It's not too bad. I'm porting it over to Unity just because it hits so many platforms, and it's going okay so far.
Unity is. There's a joke in there, and I can't think of it. Never mind. Moving on. But yeah, the reason I was thinking a mobile game just because of a lot of it's just kind of you're just clicking and poking stuff. You're getting Holy Weaves is like, I'm getting stressed out watching this.
It's a very backseat drivery game, so people who played it a lot tend to get very stressed out watching other people play.
Oh, really? Wow. Is
Yeah.
it just because you're like, why'd you put that there, you fool?
Yeah, so like after you've played it enough, you can immediately see the right place for most pieces, and it's just right over there.
It's like, why did you put it there? It's right there. Come on, guys. You idiot! Put it there! It's like, oh, if you put it there, you're never going to be able to move anything else.
My favorite case of that was one time at an event, a dad and his 8-year-old son were there, and the son kept backseat driving while his dad was playing.
Oh, that sounds
Awesome.
adorable.
I think we've had some of the best learning experiences watching little kids play the game.
Oh, really?
Really?
How so?
Well, they tend to be a little more experimental with their gameplay because they don't necessarily have the rules of how games are played solidified in their minds yet.
Oop, I fucked up.
So they tend to try different stuff and just see what sticks way more frequently than older players who are usually just like, well, I know in video games that this is the general rule of how you should play, and I better not stand outside of that. Not that I'm trying to say that, we have these rules and we'll never break them as old gamers, quote unquote, but it's just really interesting to watch kids play.
Yeah, you put yourself in a box is the term that I always think of. It's like you don't even know you're in this box with all these mental restrictions, but a kid hasn't put themselves in a box yet, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think I can kind of understand where that comes from, because it's like, well, I have to build this world out and I have to do these things, and then you see someone else doing it and it's just like, well, why are you doing that? I didn't know you could do that. You're breaking the rule. You're cheating. You're cheating, aren't you? How did you do that? Mer, get off my lawn. Mer. Maybe. So, just trying to
Sounds
remember.
like you have some pretty avid players in the chat, actually.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I'm stressing you out. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, that's what I do. I'm pushing your glass off the table, guys. Pushing it off the table.
I think you're doing pretty well.
Think so? Oh,
There's one
shit.
of these little skills that you pick up from Carcassonne that is to try and place tiles so that they don't get in your way in the future.
Yes.
Which I think is one of the big things that people get messed up on, is that if you don't pay attention to that, you'll create a bunch of spots where you can't really place a tile really easily.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that.
Keeping your options open.
I get myself in a box. I was just like, oh shit, I can't put that there. And now she's getting mad at me. Well, stop getting mad at me. I'm just trying to build your civilization, like you promised me.
With the terrain, there's the water, there's the land, and then there's the forest. There's maybe I'm feeling like there's also mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't show up until later.
Well, that's like the cat one, I think, right? Cat. I can't pronounce its name. Words are hard.
Atlas.
That is. Thank you.
With all of those different types of terrain, do you know how many different tile possibilities there are?
So the tiles aren't actually fully random. It's kind of like a deck of cards almost.
Oh,
so
interesting.
I kind of preset a distribution for them because some shapes are just really annoying to place.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was curious about.
Kind of like this one.
So like the little bow tie shape that you get sometimes, I found that came up way too often with
that
a
was
fully
awkward.
random one. So I,
Oh no!
Oh, interesting.
Oh no! Oh, okay.
So it's a crafted distribution a little bit.
yeah.
Oh my.
Which is how like a couple of the decks have the same basic terrain in them, but forest will come up a lot more often in one, and grass comes up a lot more often in another.
Right.
Yeah, based on the deity that you're trying to appease, right?
Yeah.
I noticed that with the fish one, that not a whole lot of like land connectors would show up, so I'd be throwing tiles off the side trying to get the one that I want. I'm like, I just want to fill in this one space. The OCD is like
At the
super
same
high.
time, though, like when you get that deck, it's a nice, refreshing, like, oh, I can just place a bunch of tiles right now without really thinking about it too much.
Yeah.
They're all water.
All right.
So apparently
Take the easy route a little bit.
this little
Yeah.
pot
The water's great for spamming when you need to build like a large mass of something. Just slap a bunch of those down.
A deep thumping is heard in the rolling distance as storm clouds roll in, bringing with them the sister fates Ragnarosa and Fortuna. I want a can of tuna now. Two halves of the same whole. Fortuna rewards your actions with more time, while Ragnarosa judges just what kind of maker you are. Or monster. Ragnarosa is notoriously difficult to please, but perhaps your next creation will be the one that gains her favor. Oh, and you used the British favor instead of just OR.
Oh
The
yeah,
Canadian favor.
we're Canadian.
Oh, you're
so-
Canadian! Hi, Canadian neighbors.
Shout out to all those
Shout out.
Canadians who were in the chat.
Yay!
There's actually quite a few Canadian developers on the Supershow. Canada is doing awesome things for game devs.
You know what's
I
funny?
kind of wish I was Canadian.
Yeah, there's
There-
a lot of indie devs.
There was
here.
a lot of Canadian indie devs that came down for Fantastic Arcade this past year. And I was like, Canadians! It's almost like home! Because I'm from Wisconsin. I'm not in Wisconsin, but I'm from there. So it's just like, it's kind of like home? Sort of? Oh shit. Oh, I fucked that up. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, no. I'm so sorry. I should pay attention instead of getting all excited about Canadians. Oh god.
It is kind of interesting to see how when things go wrong in this game, they really kind of
Cascade.
keep going wrong. It's just like it gets all this panic sort of happens because things are just literally falling apart.
My world.
Yeah, there's a tendency to make things worse while you're trying to fix things.
Well,
Yes.
in my panic. Gosh. Yeah, take that land. Oh, no. Damn it. Buttons. Haha. Whew. Eventually I'll make a high enough level. So I had notes and I can't read them. I have horrible handwriting.
Oh no.
It's okay. I noticed, like,
Notes.
I was writing notes. Did I grade them too? No. It was just mostly, I was gonna ask more about how the community stuff was, but I didn't know how to answer. I just read Reddit community. And that was about. So you said this was in development like the whole time, like as your kids were growing up. So, like, at what point did you start like advertising, like, oh, I'm making this game? Everyone look at it and give me input.
I think it was sometime early in 2014. We started with a local event called Bit Bazaar that's run by Bento Miso, and we also did our first PAX in 2014.
Oh my. That must have been fun.
Yeah, it was my first time going to a PAX at all. I hadn't gone as an attendee or anything before either, and it was a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah, it
I can
was
understand
awesome
that.
and scary, and there were so many flashing lights, so many people.
No, wait, no, don't.
Are you planning on
The
showing this
standing.
more? Are you gonna go to PAX East or anything like that, or are you pretty much done with the showing of the game?
I think we've already done like 4 or 5 PAXs with this game, and 1 GDC, and a couple of other events. I think we're probably about done.
So at this point, it's definitely you've gotten plenty of it under your belt, and
It's like,
Yeah,
do
I
you
think
feel
so.
like people will find it? Right? You're like, just, they'll find
Marketing
it.
as an indie dev is a bit of a challenge, but
oh yeah.
I think the convention goer crowd are already kind of familiar with it. We've already had a bunch of comments from people later PAXs saying, "Hey, I remember this. I saw it, last PAX."
Heck yeah, look who I got. Barnacles.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
No, it's Barnacles.
Oh, it is? Oh, see, I don't read very well. I'm just a cat.
That's
my-
fine. They're
my
spelled the same.
excuse.
That's just kind of his one big pet peeve is, being called Barnacles.
Yeah,
Oh,
people
shit.
mispronouncing his name. Oh gosh. Can't have that.
He's a little bit sensitive about that. Wah wah.
Did you find people responding really well to the game?
Yeah, a little bit.
'Cause the art style is very interesting. It feels like it's a nicer game, like kinder. The art makes me feel like it's going to be a friendly game.
And then when they get
then
mad,
start
you're just
playing.
like,
What have I done to tick you off?
I'm sorry. I thought you loved me.
The art style for the game was very heavily influenced by my childhood. I played a lot of like Secret of Mana and Final Fantasy VI and that kind of stuff. So when they asked me to sort of create an art style for the game, I sort of said, "This is my chance to make something real pretty." So
Oh, damn it.
Well, it is. It is very pretty. It's
Yes,
also
I
mean,
like it.
though. It's a mean game.
I will say, in looking for just assets for this, like, yours was like the most heavily asseted game. I'm like, oh my god, this is like my treasure trove. So anyone looking for assets for like their thumbnails, you got them here.
Things we've done for our... Yeah, we've done a lot of events and a lot of promotional stuff, and most of the, like, if you submit to the IGF and everything, they always want a bunch of different assets, so we've put a lot together over the years.
Yeah, no, I love it, and I agree with Kitty. Like, I love the character designs. They're so gentle. they're pleasant to look at. Like, it's hard to describe feelings for certain arty things. That's just me though.
Well, most of them are pleasant to look at.
Oh,
Pester,
Uh-oh.
I don't know about Pester.
he's kind of a rogue, but I mean, like, because there's not a lot of, like, the game visually doesn't change a whole lot in the sense that, like, you're not looking at different rooms or anything like that. You're basically staring at this one map, for however long you're playing. I wanted to make sure that things were, like, pleasant to the eye and not too grating.
Yeah.
Because I don't want people to, like, quit out of frustration because they're sick of looking at, like, gross artwork or something.
So how many for doing the art, like, how many iterations did you go through, or did you kind of come up with, like, this is exactly what I needed, or I should say process. So, like, what was your process? And just let's even just start with one character, which is what's her name, the first one we get.
Penelope?
Yeah, like,
Um,
so, like, do you just start with sketches? Do you, like, how, like, is this version 29 out of 30?
Each character, it was strange because some of them, like, it would click right away. Penelope's design was basically the same from when I first came up with the idea. It was a lot of more playing with proportions to make sure that they read well on the screen.
All right.
But then there's characters like Pester who, like, went through, like, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 variations. At first he was like one of those naked Sphinx cats in a fur coat, and then he became more... Yeah, because he was supposed to be like some weird trickster cat god that modified into, like, something a little more sinister. So then I wanted to go with, like, a bug theme, but then also still try to tie in some sort of, like, existing mythology. And so it really depended on the character. But characters always started off with some sort of, like, a really quick, rough sketch just to sort of get the personality down.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would go into the pixelation process where I would take the sketch and shrink it down to be about 64 pixels high, and then try my best to recreate that in like a super small miniature. And during this process, I would be showing it to the team and saying like, "What do you guys think?" And generally speaking, they would just give me the thumbs up and let me do whatever the hell I wanted.
That's always
So then I would just
it's always the best news.
Oh yeah, that's one of the best things, especially as an artist, where they're just like, "You just go do your art thing," and I just sort of skip off happily into the sunset with my sketchbook and my pixels.
Yeah, if I had enough art skills to tell you what to do, then I would be doing the art myself.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
Well, there's something to be said about that. Like sometimes it's just like, oh, that's just a lot of work, and you really want to get it done. But it's always nice to have someone else to talk to about the project, even if they're working on it or not working on it.
Oh, for sure.
Also, look, I get to destroy the world. Oh, they're all pissing
There was
me now.
one character design thing we never could agree on, though. There was a different blink animation for Pester that I always wanted that Rosemary refused to do. It was too gross.
No, I did it, and then the actual animation grossed me out, and so I refused to make a sprite sheet of it.
Oh no!
Oh my.
Yeah, I wanted his eye to actually iris open and shut, but only like once every 10 minutes, so that you maybe notice it out of the corner of your eye and be like, "What
Like that's
just
weird.
happened?"
Wow. That sounds actually really awesome.
I don't
Sadly,
know.
I never got to see it.
It looked like a butthole.
That's great. That sounds awesome. That's DLC. DLC.
DLC, yeah.
Yep.
Butthole blinks.
Blink, blink.
There was one character, though, whose design was very by accident. We have one of the elder fates, which you can actually see on the screen, are Archaeomegasaurus, which is the wizard dinosaur.
Oh yeah, the one in the lower right corner that I have on here.
Yes. Andrew came to me and said, "We need an elder fate that has meteor powers." And I said, well, the first two things I think of when I think of meteors are wizards and dinosaurs. And he was like, yes, make that. And I was just like, oh, I was just like knee-jerk reaction, like thinking off the top of the dome. No, that's fine. Just make the wizard dinosaur. Oh, okay.
That sounds great. I like that. Like just it has to be that. Do whatever you want. It has to be that. I'm winning? Question mark.
So after you've destroyed the world, you're going to get extra time for your next build based on whatever achievements you got while you were doing this.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
So, is there a specific end game that she's trying to reach?
So this dinosaur wizard and the polar bear, they cause major disasters as soon as you summon them, and kind of the game's end goal is to build up a strong enough world that can survive that.
Oh, so is there a total time for destruction as well? So like you have time for play and then time for destruction, or is it just you have time for play and then you have to destroy it all?
It's you just get to destroy it.
Okay.
And the next stage won't start until you're done destroying.
I secretly really like this because it feels a lot like art and like the artist's dilemma a little. It's like you make this thing and then you have to destroy it. Like a mural, or like you only have like 2 canvases and you can't afford another canvas, so you had to destroy it. So it feels a little like that because like you're creating the thing, and then it's just start to the second age. So how many ages does this go through, or is it just as many as I want, or is it as many
as it takes you to finish?
Okay. So until time dwindles down into nothingness.
Yeah, once you've completed that end goal, you unlock infinite time in this mode.
Oh my. So are there Are there any plans for extra stuff? I know you're kind of done with it, but are there any plans for either expansion or just different
Or
game
new game?
modes or new or
So
even
we've,
a second version?
So there's one thing coming along that we can't quite talk about yet because it's not for sure. But we have like the custom game mode with Travesty was added after release, and we have a bunch of other ideas for things we want to do. It takes a lot of time. I don't ever plan to stop working on this because this game is kind of my baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's your third baby?
So, yeah.
It's the baby that has no mommy. It's complete control.
Pretty much.
So my screen is
It
keeping.
looks like you have a bug.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was gonna wait and like. So should I just reload it?
I noticed when that happened. Yeah, if you reload, it should stop. The snowstorm bugged out. I already made a note.
Okay. Hold on. Is it okay to save it or just start a new one?
It should be fine. Save and load.
Okay. Continue game. Oh, didn't do it. Here, let's just reload the game. Save and exit.
Save and exit, and then...
And then I'm gonna reopen it. Yay! Bugs. That's okay.
Oh no!
Hooray for bugs!
It's cool.
I fixed this bug ages ago, and it's back.
It might just be me.
Development.
I'm magical that way.
First bug of the Supershow! Woo!
Okay, so we can actually... We can
It's
fix
okay.
this, though. Go to the option menu.
Oh, hold on. Waiting.
You can disable the shaking in the option menu.
Okay, I'm waiting for the game to reload. Yay.
Hooray!
Why are you broken? That's weird. Oh, what did you need me to do? It was disable screen flash and
Good.
shake?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you go to the little gear, that'll bring you to the options, and there's an advanced options section.
Okay.
More options.
All
This is
done.
where we have all our accessibility stuff.
Mm-hmm. Which I thought was also I thought that was very cool. How did you decide to make it accessible to those who have, eye deficiencies or eye color issues? Because I saw that you.
Well, it's something that's been important to both Alex and I for quite a long time, and Able Gamers had reached out to various developers over time, trying to encourage more and more people to do this. And it doesn't actually take that much work, so we felt it was important. And we even have the ability to slow the game down for people who just don't have the physical agility for whatever reason to play at normal speed.
And I super duper appreciate it. Now, I don't have any deficiencies, but I'm super aware of all that. As a designer, I have to worry about all of those things. So it's just like, it's like, okay, well, it's like, who's this for? Will all these people be able to read it? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, font size was one of the things we struggled with for a while, because that's something a lot of people forget about, is that you don't have to get that old before reading tiny fonts gets difficult.
Well, yeah, and it doesn't even have to be that tiny fonts are hard to read. It's just the way the game is rendering the type as well could also have an impact on how its readability is. And I find that out a lot. It's just like, oh, come on, guys, your pixel art game's cool, but can we just increase the typeface just a little bit?
Yeah, accessibility is something that I think it's actually really incredible how much more of it people have been putting into games recently. And so the fact that you've got all those little things to tweak is just awesome.
Credit to Rosemary, though, when we first did the color blindness test, the game pretty much passed instantly. Because
Nice.
She just did a really good job making the art read well.
Good for you.
That's
High five.
awesome.
High five.
Thank you.
So I know that this is kind of like putting you on the spot, but if we've left out anything interesting that you've never really gotten to share, like a cool story about what's happening or something about the history of the game, this would be an awesome opportunity. We have 8 minutes left, and you should regale us with your lovely stories.
Oh, man.
Now,
Or even like a quirky thing that happened during development, and you're just like, oh, that worked.
So, one thing that so the characters all have their own little voices right now. That was not the case initially. We did that right before launch, pretty much.
Oh my!
And Travesty is designed to look like me. This is
Yeah,
he was
it's
originally
pretty
put
much-
in.
I was worried
He was
about
put
that.
in as a demo character to, like, we'd be running the demo and I'd be standing right next to the game. We thought that'd be kind of funny. But then he actually made it into the full game itself. And to record his voice, our sound designer tricked me to do a quote-unquote mic check and recorded me saying a bunch of things naturally when I didn't realize I was being recorded. Just to make it easier to get natural laughter and reactions out of me. Which was great when I actually sat down, plugged it into the game, and everyone came over to watch, and then I laughed, and it was the same laugh that was in the game.
Oh my god, that's adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
On my side, I am a huge fan of a number of YouTubers. So there are subtle and some not so subtle nods to them in the game. I'm not going to give any names, but they're there. So I hope people find them.
Okay, cool. Is there? Are they well-known ones, or are they just like super under the radar Easter egg?
Some
of
of
people.
them are more known than others. I'll mention one because it's actually kind of hard to find. But there's a Markiplier reference in there.
Oh shit, Markiplier.
Oh.
Gonna have to look for that now. Oh, nope. I broke it. Got this game. Got this.
So has the game, because there's been like this long discussion in chat actually about like discoverability for games, just like getting it out there to people. Has that been a challenge for you?
Yes.
Do you feel? Yeah.
Yeah. It's an unavoidable challenge when you're making any kind of art. Because there's a lot of art, and there's more good art than you could experience in an entire lifetime.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in games where, my favorite games are things like Civilization, where I could drain 200 hours into just one.
Oh wow. If and when you do your next game, what are some things that you hope that you have lined up that will help you make it more easily discoverable? Is there like a wish list that you're like, I'd like this, and this, if possible?
I don't know. At this point, it seems more like it's more important to just build more games, and some people will notice each one of them, and I think most people who follow indie developers tend to keep track of the ones that they like. Mm-hmm. And the only somewhat reliable route to having exposure as an indie is to just make a lot of games and to have the quality level be consistently pretty good.
All right.
Is that pretty much your strategy?
I think so. I can't really see any other good route, and I love making games, so if the solution's to make more games, I'm not too broken up about that.
Sweet. Yeah. How many games have you made?
On the team level is a big number because of Alex, who worked for Webkins, if you are familiar with Webkins.
Oh, yes. I've never had the pleasure of actually playing, but I know all about them.
Yeah, he built a lot of their games.
Oh, interesting.
I've worked on a lot of games, but most of them never got finished. The only ones that did get finished were, I worked on Alien Hominid ages and ages ago. It was kind of my start in the game industry, and then I worked in casino games for years, so that's a lot of finished games, but I don't think they count.
Sounds like a lot of abuse.
Well, I learned a lot, and everything I learned there contributed to making this, so I don't mind it so much.
Well, that's good.
For me, I got my start in Facebook games, which is, again, like a double-edged sword because I learned a lot, but I feel like I also lost a little part of my soul doing that. So,
Yeah, that's how Rosemary and me and Alex all met, as we were working on a social game based on Dirty Dancing.
Oh wow.
Wow.
That sounds
Yeah.
super cool.
Why not?
Kind
It had really
I kind of want
nice
to play it
pixel
now.
art.
Yeah.
That'd be really funny.
Awesome.
Oh no.
So the dev team for this is 3 people?
So the core team is three of us: me, Rosemary, and Alex, who's the third member of Golden Gear. We also our sound designer is Robbie Duguay, and we also worked with Jen Costa, who did the sound effects. So Robbie is mostly music. Her stuff isn't really in the game anymore, but we worked with Amanda Stalker. Did this? She did the coloring for a bunch of. We had graphic novel cutscenes.
Oh yeah, the page book
Wow.
stuff. And
I mean, Rosemary could talk a little bit more about that because it's sort of her domain.
Yeah. Originally, when we conceptualized the game, we wanted to keep as little text in the game as possible, so I suggested that we tell a lot of the story elements using a visual-only comic book. And it was a great idea, and we all loved it, but the problem was it was a huge time eater, and we just couldn't produce the artwork fast enough to match the game. So unfortunately, it was something that we had to kind of bin. But some of the artwork still lives on in the actual Fate Tectonics book. Wherever you see like little images in the story and things like that, that's all sort of carryover from the comic book.
Oh, interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, the things you have to sacrifice for all the reasons.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm like super engrossed. I'm just like, oh yeah, like okay, I'm gonna put it there. We're gonna put the next one, and this one should go. Oh no, it can't go here. It's like it's very zen.
Well.
It's very zen. It's like,
but with
oh,
like
yeah.
pressure.
Well,
Yeah.
it's very zen until it's not.
Yeah.
It's sort of. So
You're
the one inspiration I talk about less is Minesweeper,
Oh yeah.
because Minesweeper is one of those games that is also very zen, but then all of a sudden you have that moment where you misclick or something, and then your heart seizes up because you haven't really been paying full attention to what you're doing.
You're like, oh shh. Oh, that's gonna ruin the whole kit and caboodle. Oh god. Oh god. They're all upset now. I can see it. I can just be like, oh no, oh no. And if I take this back on the analogy of going on the bus again, it'd be like you're playing on the bus, and then it's just like, oh god, and then everyone's like, what's going on? My civilization died. I had to destroy it. It was a horrible, horrible day. No, okay.
I do feel like the civilization part like impacts my guilt meters very greatly. Like watching little villages and stuff like fall off the map.
Like,
Makes
oh, you're
me
so
feel
cute.
like a horrible person.
You're so cute. You're all exploring and everything, and then I just die on you because you screwed up.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Makes you feel like, oh, I'm like a failure. I can't create a world. How can I do this? Hashtag. Oh, I screwed up. Curly, I close my eyes and click Minesweeper. I feel like that's how Curly would play this. They just say, I just close my eyes.
Oh my goodness, time just flew by. It is 9 o'clock.
Oh, it is. Oh gosh.
So it is.
Hour. Yeah. That's every time I've done the Super Show, pretty much, I've extended the time that each dev gets to be on the show, and it's never enough time. It's just, if you have any parting words or anything like that, I'm gonna start prepping a. I think I have keys to give away that you guys gave me. I do. I'm gonna do some giveaways because you guys are super generous. But if you have any parting words, this is an awesome opportunity.
People are
Andrew,
talking
would
about
you like to go
sushi.
first, or?
That's weird.
Sorry, I got distracted by chat.
Yeah, they're talking about sushi in there.
Fully paying attention, and my sound is cutting out a little bit.
If you want to just yell at chat for a minute before you leave, you can do that. That's totally allowed.
No,
Well,
I
I'll just say-
actually didn't hear what you asked me to do because the sound cut out.
Oh, well, they're just asking for some parting words, so I'll go real quick. If you want to make games, if you want to make art, if you want to make anything, do it, and do it now, because time is going to go by anyways, and you might as well just do the things you love.
How am I supposed to follow that up?
What the?
That's very good advice.
It's a competition, so you better.
Yeah. One.
Your life is
one
on the
up you,
line.
Andrew, do it.
The gods may not like it.
I mean, I can add on to that it may seem like things like having kids will make it impossible to do something like develop an indie game, but I mean, I did it. It's possible, apparently.
You know, it's a very well done game. I think you guys did super well. I can't wait to see what you guys do
Thank you.
next.
It's in a really interesting kind of